Hi guys, I am Crystal Sky, and today we're here with another Pinterest video where I take a bunch of Pinterest pictures and draw a couple of things from there to get a learning experience. Today we are going to work on swords. I know nothing about swords. I've never drawn a sword. Let's see how this goes. There's also a bow here for some reason. I think it might just be I thought it was pretty, so I don't know why that happened, but we're just going to be drawing some swords today. I found this here with like a whole different bunch of types of swords. I don't know anything about swords, but I read a lot of fantasy manga, so swords. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a different type of sword here, and this picture here is great because it just has a couple of really it just has the types. It doesn't have like any decoration or anything like that, so it's good to know what all the different types are and how long they are. That's what we're gonna do. Let me move this out of the way. I might color them with some gray. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm a little nervous. Like I said, I've never drawn a sword before, so I didn't even know what swords look like. So let's do some research today, shall we?
Alright, so today was swords. I list the names of the swords that I drew after everything's all on the paper. So I decided to draw 3 swords today. Again, I've never drawn swords. Actually, in all of the stories I've ever written, I don't think I've ever had any sort of swords. I don't think I've ever had any interest in writing or creating a story with swords, which is pretty interesting because there's a lot of good stories with swords in them. So that's about my extent of swords, is nothing. I haven't even had a story in my dreams with swords, so zero sword experience. Anyway, so I took really simple swords for this exercise here, or this research, and I decided to color them all in. I didn't think I was going to originally, but I did. It's just a practice for research. This paper doesn't take too well to Copics, which is why in my previous day's video I used render sketchbook paper, which is great with markers, but it's in a really tight sketchbook. So I decided I was never going to record that sketchbook ever again. I got that frustrated, so I'm using my Canson XL mixed media paper, and it went through like 3 different papers. I don't think I show in this video, but it went through like 2 different sheets, and I don't have a piece of paper big enough to cover the entire back of it, so I didn't even bother. I just let it soak through. But that's what happens, you know. I have some hot tea today. Actually, I recorded, and I had some hot tea while I was recording, and I have some hot tea now. So that's good. So supplies list, before I get too crazy and spastic. Supplies is just my multi-pen, my multi-points pencil. I don't even know if they sell them anymore. I've had this pencil since I was in elementary school. So that's the thing. I'm trying to use up all the lead because I found all of the school supplies I used when I was in school. So that's what this is. That's a cutlass. That one I know. It's a pirate sword. Oh God. Okay. And I'm using my Canson XL mixed media paper. I also am using my neutral gray, I think it's N12 Copic marker. I have my Jelly Roll, my white Jelly Roll pen, which I've said my piece before. I have 3 of them though, and I'd like to use up the ink in them. So even though I'm using them, don't get me wrong, I really dislike the Jelly Rolls that I have. I zoomed in here. I didn't even bother to cut it out because it was a really quick zoom, but I wanted you guys to actually see everything that was going on the paper, and I didn't use the whole sheet there, so zoomed in a little bit. I am also using a couple of Blick Studio markers. I think I use the only other Copic color I use is red, and then I go in and use the different colors for the Blick Studio markers. I really like the Blick Studio. I actually have a review up on my channel if you want to go check that out, of the Blick Studio markers. So go check that out if you're interested in those markers. I really do like them. You should go watch my full review. Bailey J actually did a first impressions video, I think she called it, of them. And we got into a conversation. It wasn't just me and a couple of other people. It was just about the smell of the markers. Because I complain in my video a lot, the markers have a really intense smell. Especially when you use it with the render sketchbook paper. It doesn't smell as bad on the Canson paper. I don't know what kind of chemical reaction is happening there that makes it smell so bad. But on the render sketchbook paper, it smells horrifying. If you go and smell my render sketchbook, it is literally the worst alcoholic smell. You'll like fall over because of how bad it smells. So yeah, it doesn't smell nearly as bad on the Canson paper, but it's still horrifyingly bad smelling. So that was the thing that happened. I went and commented about the smell because she didn't mention it, and I don't know. She said that she didn't notice. And my opinion is like, oh my god, how did you not notice that? I don't know, maybe it's just my markers, maybe it's the paper I'm using it with. I have no clue. If you guys hear me stirring, it's just my tea. So I do go in and tell specific colors of which I used a different gray for that, the cutlass. And I think the neutral gray really shows up better and makes it look more like a sword. But for some reason, if you see there's little like dots, I can't notice that if I look at it just here in my hand. I don't know why that is. No, absolutely no idea. But it's not happening with the Blick Studio markers, and it's only happening with the Copics, so that's kind of funny. I tried to do some sort of weird mixing handle thing here, and it didn't turn out good. I'm not happy with any of these, honestly. I used a ruler for the first one, and that one turned out alright, but the coloring's off. Color's off on all of them. I'm not good at swords. That's okay, we're all not good at something. And I'm just really not good at swords. I have a really long outro today. I apologize. I didn't want to shut up.
Alrighty guys, so that's it. I drew 3, specifically swords. Let me name them now. This one is a long sword. It's actually a little too short to be a long sword, but it's a long sword. This one is a cutlass, and this one is something called a gladius? I don't know. My book actually only has guns as weapons and magic and no swords. So that's pretty interesting. But the coloring job is terrible. Gonna be real here. But I have not once drawn a sword before. So I decided this would be a fun little activity, and I think it was pretty fun. This one I imagine would be, it feels like it would be wood almost, but I could be completely off the mark with that. This one I tried to use a cool gray, and these are neutral grays, and I really like the way the neutral gray is better, so I would definitely use a neutral gray in the future. The cool gray just doesn't make it look like it would be a blade. And anyway, but that's it for today's video. This is, this is 30 days of learning. I'm learning, and I've never once drawn a sword before, so that's what today was for. Thank you guys, that rhymed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is day 21, I believe, and that's pretty exciting. We only have, today included, we only have 10 days left, and I can't believe I'm almost done with this. It's incredible. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!